So, Eric want to talk about something that I want to talk about. It's crazy because did you send it to me first, or did 50 million other people send it to me?
I don't know.
Because I see where you sent it to me, and then Melvin sent it to me, and then it was like, I think Brandy sent it to me. It was like Rico sent it. It was a lot of people sent it to me,
And I'm looking on my phone.
and it was Neon.
Is that how you pronounce his name? Neon?
It's N3ON. And he's a streamer. Is he Indian?
Yeah. I believe so. I don't know what's his
Yeah, he looks Indian. And he was on the Breakfast Club. I guess he had something. And you know, Charlamagne.
Yeah, Charlamagne invited him because he's a streamer.
Yeah,
but didn't do really no background
check. Yeah, and Charlamagne is like, I guess he's like into the streamer culture. And he feel like it's great that these guys are able to do that and find a platform and actually. But you know, Jess kind of like, Jess remind me of like the hood. Even though she not from the hood, she ain't grow up in the hood, but she like, I got to do some hood checking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who this person is. Yeah. And Jess went and did a background check on the dude, and he said so many different racist things.
Towards black people. Most of his attacks is towards black people.
Towards black people. Like, I feel like...
I know he was calling Kai Cenat a monkey. I think he was at a zoo somewhere. He saw a monkey. He was like, "Hey, Kai Cenat," or whatever.
Yeah, he said that black people. His father, a black guy. The race that he hates the most is black people.
Yeah.
His father got robbed by somebody black that robbed him for $50,000 or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, and then he said that. His father had to fire a black lady. He was talking about how lazy black people are. And then when watching it, what was he saying? He was saying that he wanted to cry when he was at the Breakfast Club. I don't know if he was being sarcastic, but it didn't seem like he was being sarcastic.
Because he said they wasn't being nice to
him.
They
wasn't being nice to him. He said this was stuff from a long time ago, and he's an internet troll. It was stuff from like 2 or 3 years ago. That's not a long time ago. I guess young people, that's a long time ago for them. To me, that was yesterday. Yeah. 2, 3 years ago. That was the other day you did this. And he was just like on there, just acting a fool. Like he was talking about if Aiden didn't call him, and I'm not an Aiden Ross fan. Yeah, I don't like him. Personally.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I don't personally.
I'm gonna sound like a hater. Probably, and a lot of younger people, if they watching this, gonna call me a hater. I don't really too much care for a lot of these streamers.
Yeah, I don't. I like Kai. I like Kai. I like Kai. You know what I'm saying? I like Kai, and I like what he's doing. But like a lot of the culture vultures people, and just like a lot of the people that's like feel like because they know a certain sector of black people, they could just they deal with us how they want to deal with us. Yeah, it's just like they feel like they could be like they feel like they could be a little racist. And then when you look and see how many black people work for this cat,
that's what disappointed me. Like I went to his Instagram page after it happened because I've never heard of the guy until I saw it on the Breakfast Club, and I see Nick Cannon on his page. It's another internet guy that do skits. His name is King Bach or whatever. And then like you hear about like his bodyguards being black, his publicists being black, his cameraman is black. And I understand people need jobs. I understand people, need to make money or whatever. But it's just like, when do you have some dignity for yourself and other people and people in your family? You know what I'm saying? It's just like some of the stuff that he was saying was, I don't care if you're trolling or not. And just kind of held his feet to the fire, and she said, "You need to go outside and touch grass because all you do is sit in the house. That's why you got to walk around with all these bodyguards or whatever." And I think that's where the disconnect comes from me, because growing up, when we grew up or whatever, we didn't have the internet, and like some of the stuff that you say, you would have to actually, do something about it because somebody gonna come run up on you. And it's just like it's gotten to the point like nowadays, people got these bodyguards and people just be saying off the wall stuff. And then it's like you can't say this stuff and then use your age as an excuse, and then when people hold you accountable for it, and then want to sit up there and be all sensitive and want to cry and everything because people not welcoming you with open arms.
I feel like right now because of this because of what we're in like with like the whole MAGA thing, and like the idea of conservatism and the idea of liberalism. I feel like there's a a big push, especially ever since Trump went in office. There's a big push for us not to take race so serious.
Yeah.
But then they do certain serious things behind your back that makes you have to take me in, because they try to show you like the small percentage of black people that actually are making it and be like, well, you're lazy, or that person is lazy, or that person is not doing something. Because look at Jay-Z. Look at they show us the same black people, the same little pyramid of black people that's at the top, and say, well, these people are lazy. I feel like they want to get rid of the idea of teaching us like true history and the reason why things are the way they are, and know that a lot of stuff, a lot of oppression, a lot of things is psychological based. And the reason why a lot of people do something, I'm not making excuses for black people like stealing and killing each other and unaliving each other, or the things that black people do. But there's a big conversation to why things are the way they are, and there's a psychological conversation why things are the way they are that people don't want to have, because like Trump was to talk about him wanting to get rid of the Martin Luther King because they don't want us to think about race, but race still affects us. I don't think we should overindulge on thinking about race and thinking that's the only thing that like having it to the point where we're making it as an excuse for everything. Yeah. But we still have to be educated enough to understand that there is a difference in this country, and certain different, because people aren't perfect, white people aren't perfect, black people aren't perfect. There's a thing in this country that, and a stigma that's added to how black people are, how white people are, and an idea of like racism and prejudice. There people are still prejudiced against people. Based on these things, I feel we still need to talk about it. It's still conversations we need to have. We still need to teach it. We still need to act like racism exists.
Yeah, I just feel like I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, ChatGPT, and I was talking to her about. I was like, if if weapons were never invented, if nobody had any access to weapons, and it was just straight, hand-to-hand combat or whatever, I don't think a lot of these people would be running their mouth. If there was no such thing as like police, weapons, anything like that, I don't think that, people would be running their mouth like they do. It's just the sense people feel safe saying what they say now because of weapons, because of, the police and everything. And it's just like a lot of these people that say these types of things or whatever, they wouldn't actually go in nobody's face. They wouldn't go somewhere in the inner city and say this stuff to these people. No. It's because you're protected by the computer. You're protected by law enforcement. It just gives you. You see where these guys or whatever go in these cities and they have these little rallies. They're always covering their face. So it's like, oh, I want to be tough. Just like what show was that? You was watching the guy when he was battling 20.
Oh, it was one progressive and 20 far left. Yeah, far right, conservatives.
A lot of them guys that were sitting there talking, they look
talking
soft.
Real tough. But a lot of them. But that the sad part about that is, and the part that is just like really. Just mess with your heart is the fact that these are how a lot of college educated white men think. This is how like a lot of college educated white men that go on to have certain professions. Yeah. These are the people bosses, and this is how they think. Did you see how? This is how I know that racism. To me, this is my personal opinion. This is not anything that was actually researched. But when I watch stuff like that, this is how I know, because I see a lot of people saying stuff like, well, we all say stuff. No, if I'm saying something, it's like a racial situation that happened. And I'm saying like, well, the system, and because I don't talk like that. Do you hear me talking about white people white people that? No, I talk about situations.
You don't hear me talking.
I don't hear you talking like that either. We talk about situations and things that happen in white supremacy. We talk about white supremacy and the people that practice white supremacy, right? Yeah. So the thing is, when I watch these dudes when I was watching the dudes on that show, it's so crazy because I feel like I was watching demons because because they get to the point where it's like your existence doesn't matter anymore. I'd rather see you unalive than to see you existing around me. Yeah. It's not like it's not like you're doing something to affect me. Yeah. It's like your existence is not important, and we hide. I feel like a lot of times we hide racism under the name of conservatism. Like we hide the fact, like a lot of these conservatives are very racist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the ideas that they have, and I'm not saying every conservative is racist, but I'm saying a lot of people try to hide racism and say, and try to call it conservatism. And it's crazy that they could do that because they try to act like they're just concerned about moving forward as a people, but the only people they worry about moving forward is people that look just like them.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't grow up, but I worked around Mexicans, right? And I remember I was having this conversation because I worked around a lot of Mexicans, and we was having a conversation one day, and they was asking me why they can't say the N-word, and I was explaining to them like, well, why do you want to say it? They was like, well, you guys say it or whatever. And I had to tell them, I was like, you guys, I had this conversation with people that were Italian too. I was like, you guys have y'all, whatever you want to call it, derogatory or whatever things that you say amongst each other. I said, I've never had a desire to call y'all that. Never. I've never asked, I've never, because I know that's something that y'all have amongst y'all. Mm-hmm. So why do you have a desire to use something that we have amongst us? I don't understand.
It's a power thing.
Yeah, it is a power thing. And I told him, I said, y'all sit up here, y'all say y'all whatever y'all say or whatever. I'm not gonna say it. Like, y'all say whatever y'all say. I've never had that desire to say that. You've never heard any of that come out my mouth. Mm-hmm. Same with some Italian people I know. Hey, I've never said that and everything. I don't know why so many people are so fascinated with saying the N-word, especially when it comes to situations and people getting mad and being like you see the videos all the time online. So as soon as a person get mad, it don't even have to be no black people in there that they still use the N-word. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, I was down in Chagrin Falls. This was years ago. No lie. This was when Chagrin Falls was white. Yeah. And it was these two white girls, blonde white girls. Mm-hmm. And they looked like they was like about 14, 15. Yeah. And they got to arguing. And they don't expect black people to be out there because I'm there with two of my white buddies. And they got to arguing and they like, and we're dissing, and we're dude. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was like they didn't know what they were talking about. They were 14-year-old white girls. Mm-hmm. They didn't know that I was there. They probably would have cried if they seen me. Yeah. But it was just like, what is your desire? And I guess because it's a popular thing too, because we say it on music, we say it in entertainment. Yeah. So, but it's like, what is your desire to say that? It's just like when you at work and you talking to somebody black, and not trying to be prejudiced, but you always notice there's like a white person always want to come and just like, what y'all talking about? Y'all about to revolt.
Yeah. But I just don't. I mean, a lot of people with this whatever his name is, Neon guy or whatever, a lot of people always want to use age as a excuse or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is when it comes to him. But when it comes to black folks being around him, hanging with him, and working for him, I just don't understand it. Especially when he make remarks saying this isn't Section 8 when he describes where he lives in the hills away from people who sleep next to cockroaches. It said in another clip he blames black people for robberies and using ugly stereotypes. Even saying on camera that black girls are hideous and he wouldn't even sleep with one if they paid him.
And y'all gotta Google what he looked like. Like that's the killer part. Yeah, that's definitely just trolling.
And it's just like, I was about to say something, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, he looked like a little nerd, little turd.
It's just crazy. We will work and accept this from other people, but let it be one of our own. And it's just like, oh, then you want to take out the whole family. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I won't be watching his show.
I ain't never.
But I do want to watch the Breakfast Club interview because I just want to see him squirm and just him looking uncomfortable. And I know Jess probably just killed him because it was Jess with the best.
He was drinking out of empty. He was so nervous. He was drinking out of empty can.
Yeah, I did that before too, like drinking out of empty can. But I was in a bad situation. I was in the police station.
That ain't funny.
But yeah, we're gonna come back. We got another topic for y'all.